In this session, we're going to go deeper into designing your opt-in landing page and the psychology of qualifying your prospective customers. So, quick review, most people try to sell to people who aren't qualified to buy. Okay, most people seem to be very resistant to asking people if they're qualified to buy. This is a critical element if you hope to achieve long-term success, selling information, coaching, etc. If you waste time talking to people who aren't qualified, well, then you're going to waste a lot of time, because it turns out that looky-loos and time wasters, they'll take up as much of your time as you'll give them, especially if you'll kind of talk live to them or interact with you. You'll find all of your time gets swallowed up. Same thing when you're building a list, which we'll learn about here in just a bit. So qualifying your prospects, okay, back to Bill Brooks' 2 key skills for top salespeople. Number 1, the ability to qualify the buyer better, and number 2, the ability to build trust faster. Now, since we're going to be doing this online, we have to take this psychology and we have to use it for our website. But we have to remember that building trust and qualifying buyers, this is what separates those that sell stuff from those that don't. And since it's important to sell our products in order to make money and profit, we really have to focus on these areas. Your landing page, right, or your opt-in page, is your online qualifier and initial trust builder. The purpose of your landing page isn't just to get an opt-in, it's to get a high-quality opt-in. Gary Halbert, one of the godfathers of modern direct marketing, said, "Don't worry about the dogs, concentrate on selling the foxes." And by that he meant, don't worry about low-quality prospects. Only focus on the high-quality prospects and focus on selling them. And remember that maybe 5 to 10% of all the people, maximum, who come to your website will ultimately purchase something. Talk to them. Talk to those people. And by the way, these are numbers taken from a lot of years of experience. 5 to 10%, and this is if you follow up really, really well over the long term. The mistake that I see a lot of online marketers make is they're talking to the 90% or the 95% who aren't going to buy, rather than only talking to the 5 to 10% who are going to buy. And when you realize that the entire experience of learning about you, whether it's on a teleclass or an article or a video, or they hear about you through PR or find you on a search engine, from that first moment until they come to your website, they get on your list, they watch follow-up videos or email newsletters, they come back and they read a sales letter or watch a sales video, they decide to buy. All through this process, they're having one experience. They're not having a bunch of different experiences. They're essentially having one experience, building one relationship with you. So it's key that you remember that what we're doing here is attracting high-quality prospects, getting them to opt into our list, but we're doing it in a way that ultimately leads to a sale, that builds credibility, builds relationship, builds trust, but gives them one experience that ultimately leads them to want to buy. And we want to talk to the 5 to 10%. We want to talk to the high-quality prospects, not to everyone. I'd like to introduce this idea of one-decision marketing. This is an idea that my good friend Dean Jackson and I created several years ago. When marketing, give the prospect, right, the prospective customer, a single choice. In this case, it's whether to opt in or not. Don't distract with lots of obvious options if you want someone to make the decision to opt in to your list. I'm going to show you a few different examples of opt-in pages, okay, landing pages that have an opt-in on them. And what you're going to notice is I'm really not giving the prospect a lot of different options. I don't want to put a bunch of distractions on the page so that they can click on things, read a bunch of other stuff and not opt in. A human being will take the path of least resistance, and if they have the choice to just click a button and come into your website or opt in, they're probably going to click the button instead. Or if they can click a button and read some free content and they don't have to opt in, well, they're probably going to click the button or the link and they're going to read the free stuff and they're going to go around your opt-in. So what we want to do here is give them one decision to make. Now this is actually wise in all marketing, but here we'll learn about it in landing pages. We want them to make the decision, are you going to opt in or not? Are you going to opt in or not? Now a lot of people tend to think that this is going to decrease the amount of opt-ins that they get, because they think, well, if someone comes to the website and they can't come inside and they're forced to opt in, so to speak, well, they're probably just going to leave. And that's true if you don't have a compelling offer. It's true if you haven't created something that grabs the prospect's attention using the types of emotional, psychological motivators that we've been learning about in this program. It's true if you haven't made it simple and easy to understand that they're going to get a huge benefit and they're not going to have a lot of risk if they opt in. On the other hand, if you do a good job here, if you create a good opt-in page, you offer something valuable, you make a compelling offer, well, then a lot of people will opt in, and you'll find that the higher quality prospects will opt in, and then you can follow up with them over the long term. So one decision marketing. Give your customers one decision to make, not lots and lots of decisions. So we want to remember a few key design principles. We'll be learning more about design later in this program, but for now I'll give you a few principles so that you kind of have a few layers running in your mind as you're looking at some of the designs we're going to look at here. So first, simple. Keep it super simple. Don't make your opt-in pages too complex. The simpler, the betterer, as Ralph, who works with me, likes to say. Simplicity also kind of makes your pages stupid-proof. The person knows where to go first, they know where to go second, they know where to go third. Now within simplicity, we want to design using a term called reading gravity. And reading gravity is simply the idea that we are taught, in the Western world anyway, to read from left to right and from top to bottom. Okay, so what we want to do is take our first information that we want them to see, read, pay attention to, and we want to put it at the top, probably in the upper left or in the upper center. And then we want to put the information in kind of a hierarchical order down the page, which leads to the next principle, which is visual hierarchy. A visual hierarchy. Now this sounds like some boring theoretical term, but it actually turns out to be very interesting. Visual hierarchy means you want to make the most important item on the page the biggest and the boldest item. And then you want to make the second most important item the second biggest and boldest item. And then you want to make the third most important item the third biggest and boldest item. So there's a hierarchy. And when you use this with reading gravity, what you'll do is you'll create the biggest, boldest item and you'll put it at the top, and then the second biggest, boldest item and you'll put it underneath that, and then the third underneath that, so that the eye is naturally drawn to the top of the page, and then it's naturally drawn to the biggest, boldest item. And then it naturally, when it's finished with that, it will move down, okay, via reading gravity, and it will look at the next biggest, boldest item. And then, finally, it'll go down further and it'll look at the next item. So simplicity is key, reading gravity is key, visual hierarchy is key. You can start to see these principles at work just in this presentation here. If you look, you'll notice it's very simple. There's a big, bold headline at the top, and then there are bullets underneath. Okay, we're already doing this. Next, 1 to 2 fonts, colors, alignments, etc. A big mistake that people make when designing websites and web pages and designing anything essentially that has type or graphics on it, is they make it too complex, thinking that if they add lots of pictures and lots of colors, that will make it more visually interesting. And it turns out that simplicity is actually more professional and more interesting than just about anything else. If you've ever studied Apple's design, for example, their designs are very simple. If you look at their remote controls compared to most remote controls, right, they make a very simple remote control. If you look at their computers compared to other computers, right, their computers are very simple. If you look at their phones compared to other phones, their phones are very simple. They've really impacted the design of just about everything with simplicity. And you'll notice that if you look at their website, every page will usually have one or maybe two fonts maximum. In their designs, they'll usually have one or maybe two colors. They'll have one or two alignments. Everything's very simple. And again, if you just look at this page that we're working from, it's very simple. There's reading gravity. There's a visual hierarchy. It's got the bold headline at the top, and then each of the bullet points underneath it in the natural order that you would read in. And there's 1 to 2 fonts, colors, alignments, etc. Okay, so if you look closely here, you'll see that the headline font and the bullets are 2 different fonts. They look nice together. They're actually 2 different colors as well. There's essentially one alignment. We're using left alignment here because that's a nice professional alignment. But you can see how simplicity plus some attention to detail can make a nice professional design. And that's what you should do with your landing pages as well. So there are 2 basic styles of landing page, and then we can get a little bit fancier after that. The first style would be all text. Okay, and that would be a headline and then maybe some bullets and then an opt-in action. And the next style would be a video and then a headline, potentially some copy and opt-in action. If you're using social media to get people to opt in, or you want them to click like and then potentially confirm that they want to follow you, all of the principles still apply here. You would just be using something else as their response or action that they're taking at the end. So let's take a look at a couple of very simple opt-in pages that I've used for a couple of my very successful businesses and programs. So on the left here, you'll see probably the most famous opt-in page in online marketing. This page has been literally ripped off almost word for word tens of thousands of times online. This was the first opt-in page I created as I was building the Double Your Dating business based on a design that Dean Jackson and I created originally. So notice, very simple. Headline, you're about to learn secrets that most men will never know about women. And then there's some bullets. It says, inside you'll learn the kiss test, how to tell if she's ready to be kissed, the difference between how men and women think about dating and why most women want to keep you from being successful, how to use secret body language to keep a woman's attention, etc., etc. And then you go down to the bottom and it says, just use your first name. Oh, by the way, there's a nice little bullet here at the bottom. It says, and you'll also get a free trial subscription to David D'Angelo's exclusive Dating Secrets e-letter. Okay, so that's a nice way to frame that you're going to sign them up for your follow-up newsletter. And then opt-in action. Just enter your first name and valid email as your password. Then click the free instant access button to enter. Use the same password when returning. All information kept 100% confidential. Allow the next page a few seconds to load. And then first name, email, and then a button that says free instant access. Now this is about as simple as opt-in pages get. They can be shorter, if you want, but this is really nice. It's a headline, 6 bullets, and an opt-in action. Sounds very low risk, gives them what they want. On the right, you'll see a little bit more modern opt-in page that has a video at the top, then a headline, and then the opt-in action. Okay, so you can see there's a video that you can play or that will autoplay. Headline, enter your name and email below to watch the free training video now. And this offers a free training video if you opt in. And then the copy says, just enter your first name and valid email below. Then click the button that says, show me the free video, and you'll be automatically taken to the video. Then keep your eye on your email because I'll also be sending you more valuable free video trainings very soon. And then it says first name, email, show me the free video. Now these landing pages here have sold millions and millions of dollars worth of products, each of them. And you'll notice that when I create opt-in landing pages, they often look like this or variations of this. And that's because these basic designs work very, very well. Now we'll talk in a moment here about how to add another layer if you'd like to also use your opt-in page and get on Google or get, use it for SEO purposes and so forth. You have to add a few things to your opt-in page. But it's really important that you start with the basic framework that leads the prospect, grabs their attention, and then gets them to opt in. If you don't do this, in other words, if you don't make your landing page all about the opt-in, what's going to happen is people are going to come to your page, they're going to look around, and they're going to click on something other than the opt-in. So you have to offer something very, very valuable, and you have to make it really easy to understand, really clear what to do. And just a quick reminder here, one decision marketing, there's only one decision here. Do I opt in or not? And also, simple design principles. So we've got simplicity. Okay, these are very simple pages. There's reading gravity. You start at the top and you go to the bottom and it makes sense. There's a visual hierarchy. The big bold thing is at the top, okay, and then there's kind of a secondary item and then on down. And there are 1 to 2 fonts, 1 to 2 colors, 1 to 2 alignments, etc. Everything looks clean and professional. So remember to grab attention by using key psychological motivators. So everything we've learned about identifying key psychological motivators meets reality here. Getting someone to sign up for your interest list is similar to making a sale. So communicate powerful benefits based on your prospect's biggest need. This is a great place to start using some of the appeals that we identified inside of creating your elevator pitch. Okay, and what I like to do when I'm creating an opt-in landing page is create a piece of very high-value content, which we've learned how to do, whether it be a free report or a free audio or a free video or free access to a members area, something that has a very high value, ideally at least $100 or more, and then use that as the bait, or the teaser. Use that as the thing that you're offering in exchange for the opt-in, so that when the person comes to this page, they say to themselves, this is worth it. This is something that I definitely want to go for and I want to get my hands on. And something that's legitimate. You're not just tricking someone into giving you their email. There's a real value exchange going on where you're confident about the piece of content, the free report, the video that you're going to give away, and you know that it's worth it for them to enter their name and email address. Right? So it's an ethical exchange. It feels good to do. And since now the rubber's meeting the road, we want to make sure that we really grab attention and we use that motivator that works the best, okay, whatever that is. Now, landing pages are a great place to test. Okay, so test headlines, copy, and bullets to increase your conversions. Using a system like Office Autopilot or something similar, test landing pages to continually improve your conversion. Key elements to test include the offer, the headline or the opening words of a video, the bullets, and the obvious kind of design. Set up a system like this because it makes it really easy to split test. As you start building your business, what you realize is automation matters. Okay, automation matters. And you should always be split testing. Okay, literally, you should always be testing things against each other, always testing a different headline, testing a different offer, testing different words in your on your opt-in button. I mean, everywhere you possibly can, always be testing, because what you realize is that the increase from 10% opt-in conversion to 11% opt-in conversion is a 10% increase. And if that number translates all the way through, that could be a 10% increase in sales, which could be a 20 or 30 or 40% increase in profit. So percentage points count, and split testing is really a big deal as you begin to build your business. And I really like systems like Office Autopilot and similar ones because they make it easy. You just click a button, it duplicates your landing page, you can go put some different copy in there, and it automatically does A/B split tests, which means that when somebody comes and lands on your landing page, it shows them the first version, and then the next person that comes, it dynamically shows them the next version. And you can have 3 different versions running at a time, or 2 different versions or more, and it will automatically show you the numbers, and then you can see which one is winning. By the way, when you're doing a split test, it's really important to not judge early which one is the winner. Okay, you want to ideally get at least with opt-ins at least 100 or 200 opt-ins before you start judging which one works better, because of statistical variation. You just want to do that. And there are some tools that you can use out there that will tell you when you can be confident that it works, but definitely don't make the decision after you've gotten a couple of dozen. You want to let a lot of data through there before you make a judgment. And if it's close, well, just let them keep running. Okay, let them run over the long term, and when you run some large numbers through there, you'll see that eventually you'll find a winner. And if it's running really close, you're not really losing anything because they're working about equally. So get yourself a good system to split test, because as soon as you start getting traffic, which costs time and money, you want to optimize it. This is also an interesting insight. Landing page opt-in conversion tells you a lot about traffic quality. The name of the game when marketing information is to attract qualified prospects, then show them a valuable offer that they can't refuse. Opt-in conversion rates tell you a lot about the quality of your visitors, so use it as a data point. Now, this is going to become more interesting to you as you start getting traffic from different places. So, for instance, when you set up an affiliate program and other people send you traffic, that's going to convert differently than social media traffic, which is going to convert differently than banner ad traffic if you buy banner ads. And you want to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, but it becomes very interesting to track your opt-in conversion. And once you know what your opt-in numbers look like from pay-per-click traffic or from article marketing or video marketing or partners, once you've seen across several partners or several different videos you've put up online or several different social media promotions, you'll get a feel for whether the traffic is good or not, and you'll actually be able to tell earlier on whether your traffic is good when buying it from a traffic source or when doing a promotion, and this becomes very, very handy. Okay? So track your opt-in conversion, watch it every day so that you get a feel for what your opt-in conversion should be, how much you're paying for visitors and subscribers, which we'll do a lot more with later in our business. So start with a simple page, then optimize for search engines. If you're going to do search engine optimization, right, try to get ranked high on the search engines, or you're going to be buying traffic from a search engine like Google or from a paid search kind of source or an advertising source like Facebook, you're going to need to do some additional things to your opt-in page in order to make it so that it meets their quality score or their standards. The bottom line here is that these big websites are realizing that a lot of a lot of kind of scammy marketers are coming along and just getting people to click on their ads and then getting them to opt in, and then they send them a bunch of spam. And unfortunately, landing pages like the ones that I've shown you, just like they are, with nothing else on them, they're not working as well, or not working at all anymore when it comes to pay-per-click traffic or search engine optimization traffic. So we have to add a couple of things. So begin by testing a simple landing page. Once you get that working with free traffic or with traffic from partners, which is what I recommend, then improve the copy and the message to increase conversion. So use social media traffic, video traffic, etc. You could use article marketing. You could do promotions with others in your niche, etc. And make one of these other types of landing pages work. Then if you want to go optimize for search engines, okay, then add content and other SEO factors. Okay, so you want to start with a very simple design. Now I'm going to show you a variation of an opt-in page, and I pulled a chunk out of this page. There's actually something, kind of a banner across the top of this on the real site. But this would make a great design here if you were creating a website that you wanted to get good search engine optimization and you wanted to have, a high opt-in. So headline: learn secrets most men will never know about women and dating. And then here he says, in my free dating tips newsletter, you'll learn how to attract beautiful women, stand out from the competition, an easy, effective way to tell if she's ready to be kissed so you don't get rejected. And then there's some bullets. And then here it says, sign up for your Double Your Dating free member newsletter. And then subscribe today and receive. And then you get some good stuff. And, this is a little softer, right? It's talking a little bit more about the newsletter. It's a little bit more what mainstream companies want to see. But the real key here is up at the top. You see there's this banner that says attraction, meeting women, dating tips, confidence, get a girlfriend, program catalog about David D'Angelo. And you can click on these links if you'd like, and you can go read some newsletters and you can go read some content and so forth. The reason this is designed like this is so that we can link to other things, which search engines like, but that it's not, overly distracting, and, the attention is really drawn to the headline and the video and the bullets, and then we get this big red arrow pointing toward the opt-in box to keep the attention moving in the direction that we want to keep it moving in. A lot of folks think, well, I have to put content on my website in order to make my opt-in work, and you don't necessarily need to, you don't need to fill your page with a whole bunch of really distracting stuff. You just need to make sure that you've got, a really good opt-in page, and then you can put some links across the top, that kind of thing, that offer, that act as a navigation bar, but that, keep the spirit of simplicity, keep the spirit of the opt-in, and also create a one-decision marketing type of context.